Well, we are live here with Coffee with Humans with my new friend Vernon. Welcome to Coffee with Humans.
Jason, thank you for having me, my friend.
This is going to be an exciting time. I know very little about you. We have awkwardly stared at each other for the last 8 minutes. So I'm curious, what inspired you to click the button to have coffee with me?
It's everything about the concept is what we don't do anymore. We don't just have conversations with people where there's not an agenda, right? Where you can just talk. Like we used to do that like years ago, man. Like even with like my grandparents, they would sit out on the front porch and essentially just talk. You know, you be coming home or your dad or grandparents be coming home. They just walk by like, oh, da 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 da. And you just talk. We need to do that more. So I love the casual.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah, I launched this on LinkedIn back in April, and I put on there the only rule is no sales calls. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to a guy just the other day, and he took exception with that. He was like, "What? Well, everything is sales." And I was like, "Okay, what's happening here? Why everything doesn't have to be sales?" Well, yes, but you're trying to like do something or get something or have people like you. And I was like, I think you're missing the point here. Why can't we just be people and just talk about nothing?
But that's what I was talking about, the agenda. Like there is no agenda. You just, Jason, what's up? You know what I mean?
Right? Exactly. I totally agree with you. And I offered to him that the difference between like a sales call and just being an openly human person was that at the sales call, like a sales call, the end result is you take some particular action that I inspire you to take somehow through my good looks or my good oratory, and versus just like you're talking about, like having a conversation with someone where I don't know what the end result is going to be here, but what if we were just people, because we are, and what if we just brought ourselves to this space, and by bringing ourselves to this space, good things happen.
Exactly. It's like being at the grocery store. You know what I mean? You're reaching for, I don't know, 7-Up. And then all of a sudden someone's like, what should I get? And next thing you know, you have this conversation. You're just talking. You just happen to be on the same aisle at that same moment. You know, obviously with COVID in place now, a few feet apart, but now we're just talking, you know? It's a powerful thing.
I think it totally is. I think I tell people that the people, and you saw it in my preview video there, that we have 3 unique things that only people get in all of the world, in all of creation. We have 3 things that only people have, which is number 1, the ability to name our present reality and name a future that's different from our present reality. That's key. Number 2 is to create that future, to do things that actively change our environment to move us in the direction of something that we're naming. And then 3 is to actively destroy or get rid of something, either by malevolence or ignorance or choice, distinct choice to remove something that no longer serves us. Those 3 things only people get. Everything else in creation just exists in its own environment, and if the environment changes, it ceases to change. It ceases to be. And people are unique, and I think that we don't honor that creative energy in ourselves, and we certainly don't honor it in each other by bringing it to the space where people with this unique ability get together.
I love how you broke that down. I love how you repeated it from the intro, but it's like, anything that you can do like effortlessly, I think for some people now it's more of an effort, but when you do it effortlessly, we stop valuing it, right? We don't realize, like, especially when you don't recognize the tangibles. That's why I love how you kind of pull those out, because you're like, why am I having a conversation with a stranger? I love when people, because I talk to everybody. So much so my son always mimics me and he's like, hi. But like people are like, why do you talk to people? I'm like, why not? It's not that you're after something, but you're just talking. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's through talk, it's through communication, effective communication. I think that the good things happen, and without that communication, then we don't have the opportunity, I think, to move ourselves forward as much as we could, or in the ways that I think are beneficial for us. We become an island. We become us. The hermit, the quintessential hermit, where it's like show up in the movies where the house that nobody wants to go to, the house everybody walks by, right? Until you get in there, you're like, oh my God, this person has, this great collection of whatever it is. And he's actually a really cool person. And isn't that the movie storyline?
It's exactly the storyline.
Yeah.
like Home Alone. Like, oh my gosh, it's a guy. He's sitting out there with the shovel. Finally, the guy's got like a heart of gold.
Right.
But it's like people are starting to fall away from just conversations, right?
Yeah.
Like it amazes me. I just remember before when I was younger, and it was everyone would talk. I just remember I grew up. I mean, it wasn't the country. I was, Richmond, Virginia. It is just I remember people would just drive by and wave, and they had no intention of stopping by the house. And these would be like some family members or friends, and they would pull in and end up having a conversation with us. And we would just talk. But now people see you and they tinted windows, roll the windows up and drive off, right? Like, oh man, I don't want to talk to that guy.
Yeah, totally. It's a lost art, having the ability to have a conversation. Somebody told me the other day, said, well, I can't do what you do. I can't just sit there and have a conversation with a stranger. And I was like, I can understand where that thought comes from, but it's not rocket science.
Mm-mm. I think people don't, in context, they forget some things, right? Like when you go to the gym, if you're, I'm a big gym guy. Well, you will sit right next to somebody, a person, you're sweating, you're breathing heavy. You are literally having probably the worst moment in your life right now at that for the day, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey man, good job. And like, oh man, thanks. I've been working this. And you just start talking, right? Or
Right.
you'll be at one of those, like a Japanese steakhouse, and they will intentionally put you with a bunch of strangers. And you're like, oh, let me awkwardly eat food next to someone. Next thing you know, you start finding out, oh man, these people are really cool, really cool. I just think the context kind of gets people. It catches them off guard, right? Because now they feel like they have to perform X task. Like I must be a human at this moment with a stranger. It's like you've been doing this all your life.
Yeah, it's so ironic for me too because I'm pretty reserved, and you bring up this Japanese steakhouse thing where you're sitting around, you are sitting around that table, three different sides, and the guy in the middle is going, cooking all this stuff, and so like it's this moment where you're like, yes, this is great, and I've always been resistant to talking to the people next to me. Like, oh, totally. Yeah. As much as I'll sit here and have a conversation with you, I'm just thinking, God, I hope they don't talk to me. Like, I hope I can just sit here, eat my food in peace, which is weird. I think for me, because I want to know them, but it's that, I think I'm not alone in this idea that it takes a little activation energy to get me over that hump where it's just like, okay, fine. And now I'll engage. Right. Cause it feels like it's going to draw something from me that I'm not sure I have.
And you know what? I love that you said that because I'm that guy who would make you talk. I'm going to make you talk to me, but you would want to. And I'm big on going with the resistance. Like we all know it's awkward. Like we all put on our whatever clothes, we have whatever cologne perfume on. It's like, let's sit at a table and not talk to somebody, because after the ooh and the ah, we've all seen it like 20 times already. The choo-choo onion is nothing new. But of course we're like, oh, fire. But after it's on, I just call it out. I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and get this awkward out of the way. My name is Vernon. I'm 6'4", and I don't know how to play basketball. Everyone busts out laughing, right? And then next thing you know, everyone's just like, oh, cool. Because you can see people's shoulders drop. It's just, we're all thinking it. Maybe I would like to think that anyway, but yeah, just call it out. I like to talk to people.
Yeah. People are hesitant, I think, to drop the mask and be seen.
Make them laugh.
You're letting the mask down. You're just saying, hey, let's call it out.
Because you got to give people what you want. Like if I want you to engage, I have to be engaging, right? You can't ask for something you're not giving.
That's true. That's kind of the law of attraction, right? Whatever you're putting out there is what you're going to attract back to you. So people who say, I can't talk to anybody, are you talking to anyone? Are you taking any steps forward? Because if you're not taking steps forward, don't expect somebody else to take the steps forward.
You're so right. It took me 20 years, 22 years to get to this place because I never talked. I'm a quiet guy by nature. Like I can just sit in a room and not talk. I used to be huge in a drawing, and that's like the perfect place. Sit in a room, like an art class. It's 10, 15 kids in there, and you sit in a room for an hour, barely talking. Perfect. But it took me a long time to get to where I'm at now.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you have a Superman shirt on. I'm intrigued. Oh, yeah. I feel like you're an introspective guy, and you've spent some time kind of knowing yourself, and I think you're also a deep thinker. And thinking around a lot of things and coming up with, I'm not sure if it's processes or systems or something like that to just understand your world. In the middle of all this stuff, you have the Superman shirt on. What is your superpower?
This one's kind of easy. My intuition, hands down. My intuition.
Because I'm so easy.
Like you.
How did you come across that superpower of intuition?
Oh my gosh.
And what is intuition to you? I guess maybe that would be an interesting question as well. What is intuition? How would you classify intuition if you
Okay.
would describe it?
So oftentimes people confuse sensing with intuition. So like you can get the sense, or excuse me, you can get my intuition can see that this person has so much potential. This person has so much going for them. It's we just need to make some tweaks. It's almost some people say it's mind reading. I don't look at it as mind reading. You can just see that you can see the way the music's going to be played if X actions happen. And then with sensing, you can get the sense that you can have, I can, for a perfect example, someone comes to your door and you get the intuitions like, hey, this could be a really cool person, but you'll get the sense that, but this person might not be the safest person. You know what I mean? Because you recognize like what I believe or what I can see is different between what that person's expectations and actions might be. You know, you seem like, yeah, but it's like intuition is, I call it a superpower because you can see where the person is stuck, or you can see what a person might be going through that they might not even be aware of. So like, I'm big on going to a grocery store. Don't ask me why. That's a whole nother conversation. I love grocery stores. It's not even about buying stuff. I just love grocery stores.
Like walking up and down the alley or what are they called?
The aisles.
Aisles. I was like, what kind of?
I know the alley. I'm like, wait, grocery store. My intuition's telling me that could be bad for you.
Yeah, exactly. Your grocery store is in an alley.
No, where's my wallet?
So you walk down the aisles and you're just looking at food. Is that what that?
I'm just looking at ingredients. Like I was there this morning and I'm just always amazed about like international, like the internationals were probably one of my favorites, right? Because you'll see something and next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I am going to make, what did I make yesterday? I don't even remember what I made, but anyway, I ended up making pot stickers. I'm like, I never made pot stickers before. I'm like, all right, let me try it. So guess what happened? We had pot stickers. But it's
Lovely.
just, it sparks the creativity, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. But, okay, so you said you go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the question was. Man, I lost
intuition.
Yeah, but like intuition, it's just like I'll see someone and I can see that they could be having a particularly tough time, and it's not in the store. You can see it as clear as day. And it's not that, I'm big on I don't speak on what I see, but what that tells me is how can I get this how can I engage with this person in a positive way? And so they'll be, let's say, looking at juices or just something like that. I don't got juice in my brain. They'll be looking at juices and all of a sudden I just might walk up to them. I'm like, quite the decision, isn't it? No sugar, added sugar. And then I'll do this. And then they'll just start laughing just like that. They'll smile. And I'll just carry on a conversation because oftentimes people just need a break from whatever they're thinking about. Or sometimes they just want to laugh. Yeah. I don't laugh. I'm goofy. I'll make anybody laugh. But yeah, intuition's a funny thing.
When did you come about knowing that the intuition was your superpower?
I was 21 years old, and I remember my manager at the time, I was working at Ruby Tuesday.
Okay.
And my manager said, I'm going to fire you if you don't become a bartender. And I'm like, no. She says, you have a great personality. You're going to be a bartender. I said, absolutely not. I'm that guy who's quiet. Like I was saying earlier, like I don't talk. Like I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk. And then she said, you're fired. I said, I'm going to talk to everybody. And I remember, I got to get paid. Right. And I remember I was doing it. I was training, and I would see something with some people, and all of a sudden they would want to drink. Bartending has nothing to do. It's 10% drinks. Nobody really worries about how long their Manhattan takes. They really don't. No one's worried about their whatever punch. Very few people, I should say. Oftentimes, it's just people want to know that you feel them, they're heard, that they're being felt. So I would just look at people and I could see exactly again where they were stuck at or what was getting to them. I'm like, I know you're probably wondering what's taking so long, but I'm licking every single cherry. It's going to be divine. And then they'll bust out laughing. And then I would just do that, but I would see, like, always adjust to who I was with. And I thought that was normal until one of my regulars at the time, she said, people don't have that, can't do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And that's when I started like paying attention to it. I'm like, like this is an interesting superpower to have. But I think I know my intuition came from some of the things that happened to me when I was younger. Like I had to be 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 steps ahead of most people. And so it's not that I'm better than, I want to make sure I say that. It's just like I'm always seeing other options that how things could go, and where that person is. But prior to that, I thought it was just normal. I thought everybody could do it.
Yeah. so this idea of being many steps ahead, do you find that that happens just kind of instantaneously, and your mind just cycles through a bunch of different options quickly, and you zone in on kind of the thing?
Yep, every single time.
Yeah.
Like you'll I had this experience earlier. I was talking and I could just see exactly where this conversation was going to go. And then of course I'm already picked up like a big tree of possibilities that can go here, 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 here. And I'm like, more likely, and I'm doing it in like a blink. And I'm like, more likely it's going to go here. And then you just take the conversation there and you just do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I love that. That's my, it sounds a lot like what I consider to be my superpower, which is the ability to see people. And I can know them very quickly.
Yep.
And I used to kind of back away from that superpower and not call it a superpower. And then as soon as I started saying, no, that's my superpower, I'm really, really good at this, I started honing it, and then testing it, like test the waters,
Yeah.
And see what was sticking. And time again, people are like, yep, you're right. And then I've used that, well, I use it kind of in the Coffee with Humans thing, right? To just kind of get people open up and talk and communicate, and it feeds. I think to some degree it feeds my soul, right? And then I also do. I firmly believe that when two people get together, we have a unique opportunity. This space is sacred. It's set apart. You might as well use it for something good. And I do believe that the universe moves around us and through us as we use spaces like this. That's good.
You bring up such a good point, though. It's for using it for good. I like to say I have a sister, and she's a couple years older. She'll probably kill me for saying this, but who cares? Like, I feel that she uses it for not so good things. We both have the same intuition.
Yeah.
It just cracks me up. And I'm sure you can appreciate this too with the way that you read people. My friends and clients will send me pictures and say, what do you read about this person? I'll be very careful to talk about this subject and then this and then this. And they use it all the time. Just like you, at the beginning, I'm like, am I right? I'm like, oh, dang, I'm right. And then you kept doing it over and over. I'm not defining people. I want to make sure I say that. I'm just, There's a strong probability that this person, you might not want to bring up children with this person. You might want to use the word sibling. And like, because you can see it. Everything you need to know about a person is right in front of you.
Yeah. So the thought that came to my mind, this is totally silly and stupid, but it's like a podiatrist. And you'd be like, what the fuck is that talking about? So podiatrist. I'm thinking of a foot, right? You've been using this foot all the time, and it's got this callus that's built up on it just because the way you've been used. You kind of walking on it wrong a little bit, right? And a podiatrist can see what the foot should be underneath all of that stuff, and they help the individual with some practical tools, perhaps, to get the foot to be back where it should be. And I feel like
I love how you brought this home.
Right? I feel like that's what that superpower, that gift is for. It's to help people see that, like you talked about, to help them see what's under the surface, because they want that. They know it. They intuitively know something's not quite right. And if I could get to that, to kind of the raw, fresh feeling of what a good foot feels like, right? Then I can walk better. Well, you do it you do it kind of holistically with people and their beings.
Yeah, because with intuitive people, I think it's so amazing, because I would never talk about it when I was younger, because at first I was like, am I crazy? But like, I already see things happening before it happens, or already can pick up on some things about a person. I'm like, how do I know this about them already? But it's like, it's a trip, because I'm always talking about intuition with intuitive people, because I played small with it before, like I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to say anything, but now it's just like, I love having these types of conversations, because it's more like, dude, what's up? You do the same thing. What's up?
Yeah. And we're not alone. Katie here says being a bartender is sort of like being a therapist.
Right.
Totally true. People go to the bar, not only for the drinks, but for the connection. They feel like they've got some genuine connection, and a bartender's like all of a sudden, man, this bartender knows me. This bartender appreciates me. On some degree, this bartender loves me. And therefore I feel like I've got a place in the world.
It's being a bartender, outside of the drinks and outside of like just everything else. Many of my regulars, I can say it's for certain, I was the closest person. I was the person they were closest with. and not overstep on some things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not closer than a spouse, but people would just come in like, this happened in my life, this is going on. They would just share things with me. And I'm also known as the vault because I never talk ever. And so that also helps as well. But people are just, especially now, but people need someone to talk to. They do.
Yeah.
Without judgment. That's a big one too. Like, that's your life.
Yeah.
You do what makes you happy. If you like it, then I love it. That's always been my expression.
Yeah, totally. Well, do you like games?
I love games.
Do you? Are you creative? Can you draw? Tell me you can't draw. I hope you can't draw.
I can draw.
Damn it.
But I'm left-brained. I have to see it to draw it.
Really?
What are you about to do?
We're gonna play a game.
I'm looking for a piece of paper.
We're gonna play a game called Whatchamadraw It. They're not paying me for this. This was just sent to me for my birthday, and I thought, let's play this on Coffee with Humans. So Whatchamadraw It. Here's how this game's gonna go. You're gonna get your pad of paper and a pen, and I'm gonna start a timer for about a minute. Okay, so we're gonna have 1 minute to draw a picture. Okay, and then at the end of the minute, we're gonna show each other what our pictures are. Okay, so here's how this will work. It's got a phrase on it. So if I said, this is not the one. If I said, draw a fly with glasses, a cape, and lots of bling, you'd have a minute to draw a fly with glasses, a cape, and lots of bling. And then we'll show our picture to the camera. Okay. All right. So are you ready to go with this?
Roll.
Okay. And I've not drawn any of these. These are all fresh and new.
Have you done any of these?
Not. I drew this one, but I missed the cape and I missed the bling. Okay. Because I wasn't paying attention. But here we go. Draw a blank. You have a minute. Go.
Are you being serious? Okay.
I am. Draw a blank. I don't know. I didn't make this up. These are cards.
This is the best Monday. By the way.
30 seconds. Draw a blank. I'm not certain I know what I'm doing here.
Believe in yourself. You got this. I can tell. Time?
15 seconds.
Cool.
I really hope you can't draw because this is awful. This is one of the worst drawings I've ever had.
Mine's going to look like a hieroglyphic, so don't worry.
2 seconds. 1. All right. We're done. Hands down. Okay. All right. So I put you on the spot for this, so I'll go first. So
I love how you folded it over so I couldn't see it like we're in the same class.
All right. So draw a blank. Here, here's mine. And boop.
Okay, it looks like poo coming out of a boomstick.
a poo cannon. No, that's a blank. Isn't that?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Blanks are blanks. I don't know. I don't know.
Now I'm feeling like maybe I was too literal because now
I'm not sure what blanks are actually. The gun blanks.
I just
did not
draw a blank. I just took it literal. I thought,
my God!
Like rerouting the Danube, just keep it simple. You're more creative than I was.
Rerouting the Danube. I'm going to keep that one with me. So I don't know who wins. Sometimes I ask our here, hold yours up to camera. Sometimes I ask our listeners to vote. Not everybody votes because they don't feel like they have a vote, but in this world, your vote counts. So there we go. A blank. Draw a blank.
But I like your creativity.
I'm not certain who wins. All right. We'll find out at the end. Somebody will vote for us. All right. Next one. I've got 3 of these. You ready?
Let's roll.
Okay. Draw an alien firefighter that puts out fires with his toes. You have 1 minute.
Cool.
An alien firefighter. Oh my gosh, I am so bad at drawing.
You know, I'm not even worried about judgment. We just got to figure this out. Like, how the heck do you show?
27 seconds.
Oh boy, no stress.
An alien firefighter that puts out fires with his toes. 3, 2, 1. Your time is up. Oh, Michael Wasserman says Vernon's interpretation was spot on. Also, Katie Wixer, Vernon's interpretation was of a blank was spot on. Okay, all right.
Oh, thank you.
You get round 1.
Oh,
We'll
you
give
got
that to you. Only because the viewers were always right. All right, you got to go first because you an alien firefighter that puts out fires with his toes.
I'm not even quite sure.
I don't know what you did there.
Well, neither did I.
All right. Ready?
All right, left me in suspense.
An alien firefighter that puts out fires with his toes. I went the Star Wars route with the whatever that big guy was.
I don't know why I was thinking Grimace for some reason from McDonald's, but I get it now. Now that you say that, I can see it.
And he only has one toe that puts out fires.
Got it.
Yeah.
The stink lines coming from the fire really sell it, so I like that.
All right, put them up on the screen with Laura.
I think you got this one.
Our viewers to vote. An alien firefighter that puts out fires with his toes. All right, viewers. You can vote in the comments. We'll see who wins. And then we always need a third because we can't end on a tie.
Ready.
I'm just being optimistic that I'll take round 2. Okay. Here we go. And draw a heart-shaped flower sitting in a fishbowl balanced on a mermaid's nose.
What?
You have 1 minute. Start now. A heart-shaped flower sitting in a fishbowl. Oh, wow. This is second level stuff here. Oh, I need to start over.
No pressure.
Oh, man.
Just freaking out over here.
Heart-shaped flower sitting balanced on a mermaid's nose.
Someone's going to think I'm a serial killer if they find this drawing line around. Mermaid's nose.
Okay, your time is up.
Oh my God.
I know.
I was struggling on that one.
Okay. All right.
About 30 more seconds. I think it's a good finish. All right, let's see what you got.
Oh, from our last one. From our last one here, Michael Wasserman indicated that was Jabba the Hutt. You're right.
There we go.
Totally Jabba the Hutt. Yes. And he did also say that Jason wins. Shout out to Michael. All right. Do I go first this time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. That is a heart-shaped flower sitting in a fishbowl balanced on a mermaid's nose. Oh, I missed the water. There's no water in the fishbowl. Oh.
Did it say they have to have water?
It didn't, but I feel like a mermaid has to have water. I don't know.
I like it.
It's not bad.
No, I think yours is good.
All right. Oh, all right. That's a heart-shaped flower sitting in a fishbowl balanced on a mermaid's nose.
I was coming from the side, but didn't quite finish.
Where's the where's the mermaid?
She got
Where's her
lost.
nose? She got lost.
I was literally drawing her nose. I like it.
All right, folks, you up to the screen. We can allow our viewers to vote here. A heart-shaped flower sitting in a fishbowl balanced on a mermaid's nose. This is your Monday. All right, you can vote in the comments.
I don't know who got one. That's anybody's game.
You know what? It is anybody's game. I think we are both equally bad drawers. You said you were good though, and I said
I'm not. I need to see it. Like, as long as I could see it, you give me a still life, I got it.
Well, that's true. Yes,
there won't be a tie. There only can be one. Highlander.
Yeah, I think this is one of those cases where even when a person thinks they're good at something, doesn't mean that they are. I don't know. It's a thought. So tell me, you have a guitar behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you play the guitar? Are you good at guitar?
I play it horribly, but I'm practicing. Are
you really? When did you start practicing?
3 weeks ago.
No, you did not.
Yeah, like when because my son's 5 years old, we're home. I work from home. It's just like, what's something creative that I can start getting into? So we tried just different things. First was Legos, then we did VR, and then next up it's instruments. So it's things that we can do together. So I got him a recorder, and I do the guitar, and we just figure things out together.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just bought the guitar?
Just bought it. Probably looking at the receipt right there. Yeah, actually the receipt is right there.
That's awesome. I love that.
Because you have a keyboard behind you,
right? Michael likes your fishbowl.
Thank you, Michael.
Although he did say that the pole was supposed to be balanced on the mermaid's nose.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the fishbowl was supposed to be balanced on a mermaid's nose. Darn it all.
Flower.
Michael was paying attention.
Thank you, Michael.
So my curiosity is piqued because I got a guitar 20 years ago, and I attempted to play around with it and learn it, and I really did a bad job. And I just about 3 weeks ago said, screw this, I'm going to learn to play the guitar. And I met a guy out singing karaoke during COVID. I've already had it though, so I'm not a spreader. And he's like, hey, I teach guitar. And I was like, I am taking you up on this offer. And so I am learning guitar right now. After 20 years. Totally. I just started it again. The guitar is beautiful. Thank you, my mom and dad, for believing in me 20 years ago.
Their intuition told them that.
Yeah.
You can see it coming down the line.
Yeah, totally. So I'm learning guitar right now too.
That is too funny. Like I wanted something different, right? Just something that I know I will never be like Jimi Hendrix or someone like that, but it's like, what's something that I wouldn't say struggle with, but I knew it would be a big challenge. Mm-hmm. Like I'm always about doing big challenges to make me work. Like when I was in school, I didn't want to just take, I wanted to take a language I thought might be really hard for me. And I thought it was a cool language too. It was like German. I'm like, I want to take German. And everyone's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, I love Germany. Like I love German, but I'm big on going with the resistance. Like, how can I make this fun? And to come out like being the two members of the Jackson 5 after all this, that'd be great, right?
That's true. This would be the first time I've ever heard a duet with a recorder and a guitar.
We're gonna sell millions. But
you should totally record something and put it on YouTube, because I think it would be one of those things where it's like, oh, father, son, and you would go viral.
Oh, I'd go viral. All right. Turn the volume down.
It's like that guy who was in the video chat. And all of a sudden his like son starts like walking in, and he was actually on the news, like trying to be all like important and smart. And
then the housekeeper came and like started grabbing the kid, right? That was seeing her like crawl on the ground and like grab the kid. I was rolling.
Yeah, it was one of the top 10 YouTube videos of the last year.
You gotta keep things fun and interesting in life. You've got to.
Well, you're big on happiness. My understanding.
That's everything. Happiness, because happiness for me isn't, the way that I work. It's not Happiness, so it's clap your hands and stomp your feet. I mean, that's part of it. But it's like happiness is energy, right? So this in a conversation, when you get into a conversation with someone, and you might not agree on everything, you might agree on some things, but you walk away. I mean, like a conversation like this, you walk away feeling better because you have more energy. That's what happiness is, and it's like so many things that we push on our kids. It's like, but let me back up. Everything that you needed to be successful, you were taught when you were a kid, right? Everything. I live by this, but it's like, as creative as we want our kids to be and as vintage as we try to be with our kids, you got to do the same things with yourself. So for me, it's like, all right, how can we make this even better? Like, great, I want him to be exploring things. Well, so do I. You can't tell people to do things that you're not doing yourself. So as much as I'm like, I want his little mind to grow, well, I want my big brain to grow too. And, because you can still just make it fun by keeping it nice and like refreshing, even if you suck at it. Like, who cares? At least you try.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Absolutely. That's kind of the lesson, of guitar, right? My hand doesn't quite move in the way that it's supposed to. And I was told, you mentioned I've got a piano player. I'm an average piano player. I think I'm a good singer, average piano player, terrible guitar player on the order of things. And I spent so long playing the piano. I now 20 years later, I'm, talking to this guy who's teaching me guitar, and he says, well, you spent so long learning it one way. He says, but that's the opposite of what your hand needs to do when you're playing guitar. So it's just going to take a while.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt, and it's going to be a struggle, and because you learned it the opposite way for so long. However, like you're talking about, it's this process of doing it and discovery and music and creating something that, why wouldn't I be happy, even though it sort of sucks right now, and I can't really do it. I can't do it all that long. And on the order of things, it is so far, like, it's disappointing how terrible I am at it when I'm so good at some music in other places.
You just said something that's like paramount. It's like, you've got to do the things that you're not good at sometimes, because you just said it, like, you were used to having your hands like this, right? And now they got to be like this, or like this, kind of like for me, like this. It's like, that same skill set transfers over to everything in life. Whenever you start something, it's, let's just say, I don't know, like how I even mentioned that I was just terrible at communicating, right? Mm-hmm. At first it was a draw. I mean, it was a drag. It was painful. Like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh, I was in my head. And I'm having all these conversations. I was never talked. I didn't want to do it. I was terrible at it. In my opinion, terrible at it. But after you keep doing it over and over and get past the frustration, guess what? Boom, it's the same thing. And this would, it keeps you from getting stuck. And that's why I just love that you brought that up. Like, embrace it. It's going to happen, but have fun with that. That's the thing. Like, I might suck now.
People talk about all things like, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to hate that. But I think the reality is that we don't know what we like until we do it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have an intuition, like, I'm going to hate that. But until you actually walk into it and explore it, you don't know. You don't have enough information. You've not actually experienced it. So why do we write things off so quickly instead of just being like, hey, let's do that. Let's just have fun with it and see where it goes. Because out of all of these things, when we have these experiences, I think our experiences can come together in just a collective, beautiful way, and lead us into a future that we never would have expected.
And it's that same curiosity kids have. It's like what you just said. It's okay. But we learned not to explore things, like, for many different reasons, but a lot of it happened early on. Nobody wants to look foolish or feel foolish, or you don't want to get made fun of. And there's this big notion that you need to be amazing at everything. And I'm like, no. But I tell you what, you can expedite your learning if you completely immerse yourself in it, right? So like later on the day, I'm just going to be popping on the TV in the living room and sitting with a guitar in my lap and watching the videos. I'm looking like a kid again, and he's going to be right there with me with the recorder. I mean, that's going to be loud and driving me up a wall, but he's going to have his iPad going, right? But it's just, it's creating an environment, because now I'm doing it here. We're doing it together here. He's doing it. I got it on TV. You know what? You won't suck for long. You won't. You can't. You will get better.
Yeah, absolutely. You will get better. And what a great example to your kid, who is looking, he's wondering, he's learning, how is he going to live his life? Will he live his life with that curiosity? Will he live with his life with this idea that I'm terrible at it today, but that doesn't keep me from doing it? And I will get better, and maybe I'll really, really love it. And maybe I'll become really, really great at it. I think that sort of what's the word I'm looking for? That sort of example, right, is so important for kids, but it's also important for adults because a lot of adults didn't grow up in that way, and it wasn't fostered in them, that curiosity and that creative energy and the idea of, hey, just be happy with what you got and move that ball forward one step at a time. They didn't learn that, and they need to see it. If we who see that can demonstrate that, we can be an example to others.
Exactly. It's there's so many things I think people miss out on because it takes a little more effort and because it makes you uncomfortable. It's like just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think a big thing for me, and you picked up on that, is I'm always teaching my son about confidence. Confidence isn't only, relegated to what you're good at. When you're confident, you can say, come back, see me tomorrow. Maybe a few tomorrows for me, but see me in a few days. That's confidence. It's not that you're perfect. You just know I am so persistent. It's going to have no choice but to be amazing at it.
Confidence is a lot about definition, right? I think even the confidence to say, I'm really bad at this. And I can say that because it doesn't define me.
Yeah. It's what you're doing. It's not who you are. Right.
Right.
It'd be different if you're like, well, I'm not confident. I'm not going to be good at this. I'm like, I'm not going to be good at this. Yeah. It's December 14th. Check back December 28th.
Right.
I'm going to be a little bit better, but that's what you build on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your kids, environment that you learn, it picks up on what you're doing. If you're not doing it, then don't talk about it.
So as a guy who didn't like conversations, and admittedly for me, a guy who sometimes shies away from conversations, which, the irony is I have a show all about conversations with strangers. Let's do on that for a while. I'm curious. A lot of people struggle with the idea of forgetting people's names.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel this lack of confidence in the communication when they forget the name, and they're wondering, how do I bring up the fact that I forgot a name? Has this ever happened to you, and what do you do about it?
It has happened to me. It will happen to me again. It happened earlier. I think a big thing is I just say it. Like, honestly, like, please forgive me. This conversation is so interesting, so enthralling. Just say it. I totally forgot your name. I won't forget what we laughed about, but I might forget your name. You can even say something like that at the beginning of a conversation. But it's the way that you present it, I found, that is that really saves it. You could say, oh my gosh, like, I forgot your name. Or you could say exactly what I said. Oh my God, I love the joke about sitting on a porch. I was like, that was the best thing. What do you want to know the worst thing? I forgot your name. And most people, bam, always use humor. For me, you can get so much in life if you can make them laugh. So I'll always use humor to diffuse it. Because if you can make someone laugh, you're like, yeah, you have good intentions. But if you kind of tuck your tail between your legs and like, oh my gosh, and kind of look, kind of sulk, you can get in some trouble. We're not getting in trouble when people feel away. Again, you give them what you want.
People feel your energy first before they feel your words. Megan is just very pragmatic about this. She says, just ask for their name again.
Yeah.
That's straight up.
Because we make it bigger than what it needs to be. Because in our mind, like, oh my God, she's gonna think poor, they're gonna think I'm da. It's okay.
Right. It's that negative self-talk that we have in our heads, which keeps us out of conversations that we should be having. Sometimes it keeps us unhappy when really we have the strength to be happy, and it keeps us being not confident in areas that we ought to be confident, because whatever we're being great at or whatever being terrible at, it's not the definition of ourselves. But I think sometimes we have it linked up in our heads that because let's say, because I'm really good at this and people keep giving me accolades about that, if this doesn't exist anymore, then people don't like me. And we've got ourselves connected with our actions.
Yep.
And that, I think we need to learn to kind of be able to break that, at least in our head.
Very true.
That's true, Megan. Yes.
I know from my case, I was so focused on being perfect, right? Because the way that I was raised, it was like my mom's Native American, my dad's African American, and my mom just went through a lot of stuff that a lot of people probably never have to go through. But she always taught me that I had to be 2 to 3 times smarter than everybody. And so she was hammered. I mean, she was, oh my God, she didn't care. She was relentless. You're going to read, you're going to do this. You're reading this medical journal, da, 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 da. And then she was just so adamant about, you know, the way you looked. You got to make sure you have your pants have a crease in them, all these things. And I was kind of, and I'm thankful for this. I want to make sure I say that because she wanted to make sure that you know how to carry yourself well. You know how to carry a conversation. People would take you serious. I get it. Me being me, I took it on overdrive. And so I didn't want to appear foolish and not perfect.
Yeah.
And it made me, it put me into a place where I wasn't just saying it, you know, because like, oh my God, they're going to think poor of me. I created this entire narrative that never would have happened. And if they get upset because you forgot their name, do you really want to deal with them anyway?
Right. Well, she brought up some good points, right? The idea that how you should present yourself to the occasion, right?
Sure.
You know, and that I think that there's a lot of value to that, right? Because I think before a message is going to be heard, let's say a message that might change a person's life. If you're the one carrying that message, the first thing you have to be able to do is get in the room. And so you might as you need to do something that allows people to listen to you.
Yes.
Right. And that has to be somehow connected with some sort of message that they're going to be willing to accept. And that I think is the we all want to believe, like going back to our earlier conversation, we all want to believe that the odd house on the street, the guy who's carrying around a pickaxe or something like that, yeah, we all want to believe he's not a weirdo and he's, somehow this genuine heart, and if we could just find it. But why put up so many walls if you don't have to? Why not just be fun and inviting and open and demonstrate this idea that, hey, I respect myself. I respect you. Let's have a good chat and let's change the world or something.
Right. I think it goes back, I don't want to relate it directly with confidence, but just knowing what you bring to the table. It changes how you interact with people, right? And it's just knowing that you might not have said like the correct way, which I'm not even a big fan of using phrases like that, but like a smart person will pick up on it. You don't have to say it in the exact language that other people expect you to, just to say the message.
Yeah.
But there's many ways to the top of the mountain.
Totally. Well, it's like infomercials, right? An infomercial, a product that you never wanted and you're not going to want 5 years from now, but they spend a half hour telling you good messages about it and suddenly you bought it. So you can have something that no one wanted, 30 minutes ago, and now they really want because of good, clear communication and the way it was presented. Whereas you can take something that's really, really great and everybody would love it if they could only hear about it and not market it well, not communicate it well, and no one will know it even exists.
Yep. Look at the Snuggie. Look what the Snuggie did.
The Snuggie? Oh my God. I forgot about the Snuggie.
That's the first thing I thought of. It's like, why do I want this? This is stupid. It looks so warm. Oh God.
It's amazing.
We could snuggle up in this. You can fit two people in there, All of a sudden it starts playing with you. But you're right. It's the way that things get communicated.
All right. So I don't even know where you live.
What's that? Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. All right. What's the weather like in Richmond?
Gross and cold.
How gross?
39.
Okay. It's 20. It might be 20 out right now.
Okay. You got that one beat.
All right. Chalk one up for Jason.
You got two now.
Right. Okay. So yes, Megan, thank you. The Snuggie was a great product, is a great product, should be purchased more. Shout out to Snuggies. Links in the comments. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so if I were to go to Richmond, where would you take me out to dinner and why?
Depends what kind of food you like first. I'm a foodie, so it says a lot. I want to make sure
I like any kind of food.
All right.
I don't like live octopus. I actually probably don't like live anything. Truthfully,
I've never had live octopus. You made my jaw kind of drop right there. First place that comes to mind is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful restaurant called Taz's Kitchen, and they have this. What is it? Hot honey pepper pizza. It is delicious. We would become best friends fast because of that. Like, it's the food that you eat. If we had it together, we would just smile at each other. Like, not like a normal smile, but like a Kool-Aid smile. Like, the where you just look goofy and like
Todd's
because,
hot honey pepper kitchen or hot honey pepper pizza.
yeah, it's like they take honey and infuse it with pepper. And I know it sounds gross, but it is amazing.
So
And I'm not even a
cheese,
pizza person.
trying to grasp this. Is it a red sauce?
It's a red sauce.
Okay, red sauce cheese.
Red sauce, mozzarella, I think it's a couple other cheeses, sausage, and pepperoni. And it's literally legit. And it's just big enough for
Wow.
one person. So we would definitely be fighting over it because you would have to get your own. Because Vernon don't share food because I'm hungry. I'm a big guy. I need to eat.
That sounds delicious.
Okay, now your turn. You got to throw it to me.
All right. So I have a secret. I know the secret best tacos in town.
We love tacos.
They're legit. They're connected to a Mexican grocery store. And it's just, you walk in, it's a tile floor, drop ceiling, DJ booth in the corner because they do parties and stuff. And they are on point, just legit. And you can get like all the things that I don't like to eat, like tongue and stuff like that. I don't get into that. But I mean,
now
yeah.
do I.
But seriously, they're I think they're like $1.50 a taco or something like that. And I don't know what they do to the meat. They caramelize it in a way that and spice it up in just a way that is so, I don't know, it is so rich and flavorful that you just don't get it with regular, I don't know, like a regular plain old taco place. I don't know. It's hard to, so corn tortillas, greasy corn tortillas, tacos, onions, cilantro. I had a friend who was full on born in the United States, parents born in the United States, but from Mexican descent. Grandparents had immigrated from here. Mm-hmm. And we would have these normal conversations, just talking. In fact, it's Michael's wife from earlier, who said Jabba the Hutt. We'd be having normal conversations talking about tacos, and the only word she'd say with an accent is cilantro. We'd just be having she'd go, well, we're gonna have some tacos with cilantro. And we're like, come on. It was funny. Anyhow, so these are on point though. The guacamole is on point as well.
Jason, what's the name of this place? I gotta look this up.
This is okay. So this is the trouble. I forget the name every time. I'm gonna find it though.
I will accept that. I will accept that. I should have said tacos. But you know what? Tacos has really good tacos too. They really do, but not like anything you're describing. Like I love tacos, like everything you just said. That's my jam.
Yeah. I can never remember what this place is called. Oh. La Esquinita de Oro. I don't know what that stands for, actually. I've never looked it up.
Totally about to ask you, what does that mean? Cool. Appreciate that.
Esquinita de Oro restaurant. Yes. La Esquinita de Oro. On point. You can order ahead or you can walk in. They also have sit down. So delicious. Yeah. And ironically, it's right next door to another taco place, which is like, it's okay. But it's just that taco place. It's just the food's just not quite there.
Jason, I get the sense that you're a foodie.
I think I am. Some people say they're foodies though, and they are not foodies.
A foodie to me, by my definition, like I will travel for food. Like whenever, prior to everything going on, whenever I would travel for speaking, I would literally have to find a hotel that was near like the most eclectic food places, just so I could just go get some good food.
Yeah,
I love
it. Megan is saying, "Okay, you're wrong. Olivo is the best tacos in Rockford. Olivo is a food truck.
Trucks are good too.
They're pretty good. Those are pretty good, Megan. But I'm just saying, we could have a taco throwdown somehow. I don't know. We'll ship Vernon some tacos. These tacos, Esquinita, are good reheated as well. In fact, after you don't eat them because you order too many and then you put them in eggs the next morning. You fry them up, eggs, and then you've got this taco-y egg deliciousness. It's
What?
so good.
I've
So
never
good.
heard of that.
Do you cook
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like all the time? Are you a good
5
cook?
days a week.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, it depends.
Or can you even do favorites? Can you say favorite? Because I can't say favorite. I don't know how to like. I have like among the things I like to cook is this. So then maybe that's more fair. Among the things you like to cook, what's something you like to cook?
Gosh, see, I'm like Diana Ross. I'm in the mood. You know what I mean? Like it depends on the mood. I think. Gosh,
Do you take photos of your food?
yeah, I would say souvlaki. Oh yeah, absolutely. Souvlaki. I made one of my really good friends before they moved. They're Greek, and they taught me how to make that, and I love making that. So that's what we had. That's what we're gonna have tonight. Yeah,
What
tonight.
what is that?
Souvlaki. So it's gonna be a pork tenderloin, marinated, lots of oregano, salt, pepper, olive oil, lemon juice. Let that marinate for a couple hours. You can tell it's fresh in my brain, right?
It is fresh.
Make some homemade tzatziki. Oh, get some naan. Oh my God. Oh, good eating. What about you?
Oh gosh. I started making sourdough last year before everybody started making sourdough, during lockdown, but I started making sourdough because I like to learn about things. And so I don't know, I made a sourdough starter. And then I was making sourdough bread all the time and realized I was eating an entire loaf of sourdough bread within 2 days, which is not good at all. That's not a thing.
How good your food is, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, it was really delicious, and then I would make sourdough pancakes all the time too. And so now my sourdough starter is just sitting in my fridge, just hanging out because I had to get off that. Katie's got a question for you. Being a bartender, what drink are you known for?
I would make, oh, that's a good question, Katie. Oh God, it was not an electric lemonade. It was my take on an electric lemonade.
I don't even know what an electric lemonade is.
Oh my gosh, now you're gonna put me on the spot.
I play around with making drinks. I love that.
It's fun, the whole mixology thing.
I don't know what it is. So what is electric lemonade? Your take on electric lemonade?
My take, I remember it was a Lynchburg lemonade. It was a take on a Lynchburg lemonade. It was Jack Daniels, of course, ice, sweet and sour, and I remember topping it with 151 vodka, a shot of vodka down the side, and oh my gosh, grenadine.
Sugar rim?
No sugar rim.
No sugar rim. Okay. Is it supposed to? I don't even know.
I can't tell you. I haven't bartended in probably, gosh, 10 years. That's a really good question. Now you got me. Yeah, I used to be known for a lot of different drinks. But that's the first one that comes to mind.
It's a skill you stuck on the shelf to make room for guitar.
See that? See, I like how you flip that back around. Good. Yes. Bartending, I'm telling you.
Well, as we slide into our final minutes here, what's on your future? What's on your bucket list for, let's say, the next 6 months?
I want to learn a new skill that it's kind of like bartending to that point where it can translate into something else. Like, of course I picked up on a lot of my communication skills, not a lot, but I enhanced my communication skills by being a bartender. I'm looking for that next something. So I'm kind of exploring right now. So it's kind of hard definitively for me to say, but who knows? It could end up being the guitar. It could be some things that I'm doing in my business. It could be doing some of the things, even with my son. Who knows? We could start a YouTube channel, and us playing instruments poorly. Okay,
so I'm going to put this in how do people get in contact with you if they have a skill that they think you should learn?
Oh, yeah. Definitely drop me an email. Vernon@what'syou'rehappy.com. Can you do happy with an I? I totally forgot that.
I can. Happy with an I?
Happy with an I. Why an I? Because you matter.
Perfect. There you go. Have a new skill for Vernon to learn. I also put a question mark instead of a period because that's English, which I am not terrible at, but I totally messed up for just a second ago. Vernon@what'syourhappy.com. If you've got a new skill for Vernon to learn, this is your moment to let him know about it. Also, probably check him out at what'syourhappy.com. We'll have to have you on again at some point in time to talk about What's Your Happy.
I'm happy to.
Sounds interesting. Well, Vernon, this has been a pleasure, man.
This has been fun.
I have so enjoyed getting to meet you. I'm really intrigued about this pizza thing you've got going on.
I'm intrigued about that game because that is legit. That is a fun game. I could see that being get a few people together.
Right? A blank.
The poo stick. I like it. I have never played this game, but like stuff like that, anything that can get people laughing and joking and thinking, because typically it's not really the case. Either you're gonna be laughing, joking, and you're not gonna be thinking, or you're gonna be thinking and not laughing and joking. But if you can do all of those, that's my jam.
Well, this is a clean game too, as far as I can see, so you can play it with your kids too.
Good point.
I'm sure that your son has friends. You could have him invite him over, and then you could all be like, you could make them virgin cocktails while they draw.
The only thing he's going to get, because I'm sure you just heard him scream just now, is water. He's getting nothing. He's got James River gin and ice. Okay, water with ice. He is wound up. I just heard him screaming again.
Oh, Angie, you missed the game. Sorry, we played the game 20 minutes in this time. You guys would like each other. Angie and Vernon, you guys have some similar energies. Angie was on just the other day, and she played What's Your Pharmaceutical? Or what is this? What's that pharmaceutical? Which was a silly game as well. Huh. Well, we're out of time, man. I appreciate you. I'm really happy to get to know you, and I'm excited about coming to Richmond, Virginia, to go to Taza and have this pizza, because pizza is not. I'm not going to say it's my favorite food, but if I needed to have a favorite in a pinch, if it was like, what food are you going to take to a deserted island, I'd probably take pizza.
I feel the same way about tacos. I wish I thought about tacos, but yeah, I appreciate it. I'd be happy to show you. I think you will love it. All
right. Sounds good. I will make plans to be in Richmond as soon as we can open up for COVID.
Brother, take it easy.
All right, man. We'll see you soon.
All right. Peace.
One of the things I love about Coffee with Humans are the raw conversations I get to have, meeting new people just like you. If you or someone you know should be on Coffee with Humans, go to coffeewithhumans.com. Remember, the only rule is no sales calls.
This has been Coffee with Humans. Subscribe to get updates or click to have coffee with me. coffeewithhumans.com.